Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this little 1/18 scale brushless truck by DEERC. This is the 300E. This appears to be like a rebranded PX Toys, but it has, like the Sandyland that they had several years ago. But this is a brushless version, and it has some extra perks that DEERC's added. This looks really awesome. Really excited to get this one out and give it a go here today. Let's look over the truck, and then we'll look at all accessories that comes with it. This will be sort of a dirty review. I'm just going to do it all outside here today, rather than messing with the extended table review for this little truck. But you can see it. I don't think the original PX Toys came with these type of shocks, and these appear to just be friction. I have not popped them open yet, but it's possible that you could put oil on these. They sort of look like that style, but I can tell here there's not any oil in these. It just appears to function as friction shocks. You've got metal dog bones here, and as you can see, it is four-wheel drive. Appears to be, it's mostly plastic, but it seems to be the chassis is like a composite plastic. You can see the turnbuckles and the A-arms in here are all plastic. But the dog bones are metal, so that is nice. If you look underneath here, you can see the brushless motor right here. We have a warning label not to touch it. And you got your receiver. I should really take the body off here to show you guys what's underneath it, so let me pop that off. It'll be a little better than just lifting up the Lexan body. So let me get the pins off here, body clips. Here we go. We've got your ESC receiver combo. You got the 3 plugs coming out here to the brushless motor. And the steering servo here is an actual 3-wire. That's really nice, because that means if you need to replace this steering servo or anything like that, you don't have to have one of those special 5-wire. You can just use any standard servo wire, though the servo is obviously a mini, small. It's not a full-size servo. And you get your 2S LiPo in here, and I'll show you that it comes with 2 of those. So I'll show you the spare one here in a moment. That is your power button, which I bumped, and now we get a red light flashing. And there's some little LED power connectors and such on there as well. So mostly plastic, but at this size, that should be okay. You're not as likely to break this thing, just given its overall size and weight. But it ought to be pretty quick, so I'm, like I said, excited to get this guy out and give it a go. So let's also look at the accessories. You do get an extra body, and they have the little sticker on here telling you to remove that film, which I already did. Now, it came with the yellow one on there and the red, which I had on it as a spare, but I kind of like the red, so I already put the red body on. So this is what it came with. This is a spare, so you can swap your bodies. Or you can just drive with one until it's beat up and switch to the other one and make your truck look brand new again. You get an accessory bag branded by DEERC, and here is the extra battery, which the battery is in the styrofoam packing, doesn't come in the bag, but I threw it in there. This is a 2S, so 7.4 volt. It's a 1200 milliamp LiPo. Now, some of the listings on Amazon shows it looking more like a lithium ion pack with one of those little proprietary mini looking Tamiya connectors, and obviously we can see this is actually using a good old-fashioned T-style Dean's connector, so this is much more compatible with your hobby-grade chargers and stuff. So you get 2 of these, and this ought to get a decent runtime considering that this truck is really small, but of course it's going to depend on how you drive it. Let's see what else is inside the accessory bag here. So it's going to pull the stuff all out. I know it's got some neat things like a brush and stuff in there. So you've got your this one looks like it's got a 4-way wrench. Let's just go ahead and open it up because I want to make sure I know what's in there. And here's some extra gears in case you strip the gear out. It looks like the pinion gears in there. I think they're the same, so I don't think they're giving you any kind of changes in there. Just parts for of the internal gearboxes. Of course, this is 4-wheel drive, so you've got gearboxes on the front and back. Let me grab that. I know there's a brush down the bottom here. This will let you to a cleaning brush. So this thing gets dusty, you can sweep it out with the brush. I like that. That's a nice little added perk that doesn't cost much, but if you bought this from PX Toys, you're not going to get that. So I do actually like that they add little things like that. Let's open that bag up and see what is in here, because I don't want to just guess. So let's try to pour this out. I know the charger's in there. It's falling on the back of my car here. And here you've got your USB powered charger to a 2S balance plug, so it's going to be rather slow. Again, I'd recommend with the Dean's plug, as I always do, use your hobby grade. That's what I did, because one of these cells was really badly balanced, and the other one wasn't. So a hobby grade charger is going to be able to fix that, assuming that the battery is not defective. And your USB is not going to be able to fix that. So you get some extra body clips, and I like that these have, there's a couple of them that has that little tab on them, so you can pull it off and off the car easily. And you get some extra nuts and screws and a few extra spare parts there. And then they give you some more right here. And it looks like, it almost looks like a motor mount ring or something. I'm not exactly sure. That's maybe like a, that's interesting. I'll have to see if the instruction manual tells me exactly what that's for. You get an Allen wrench in there and some more screws. And you get, there's that wheel wrench and your Phillips screwdriver, which they give you with everything you buy from China anymore. Here is the controller, a typical PX Toys branded controller, maybe a little different here. You get your power light, turns yellow. This is your speed switch or trim, so you turn it all the way up, which I have it for top speed, and your steering trim. And here it looks like the foam's kind of been moved over, but your typical foam grip on your wheel, which is a nice comfortable grip, your throttle, your reverse, and your brake all there on your finger, and that's all that is on the controller. And then you've got the instruction manual. So let's take a quick look at that and see if it mentions anything about that. Your 300E and then the 302E, which is the same car, just different bodies on this. Let's see here, it mentions the accessory package. So I don't know if it's going to tell us exactly what that little spare part was in there. Doesn't appear it's going to. I'd have to rip it open and look more closely, but I don't think it's too important. Most of you are not going to worry about that when you're buying this. Here's your exploded view. Pretty generic, but at least could help you get this car back together. And then all your spare parts that you can order this from. So, all right, guys. So that should be enough in the overview. That was probably longer than I wanted, but I want to make sure I do everything. So what I do now is I'm going to power this guy on. And I'll take it for a few. I don't have my GPS reader out here, so I'm not going to do a top speed test on this right now. But I'm going to take it out and we'll just kind of get an idea how it goes here on the pavement. Then we'll take it in the back and do some off-road with this. This ought to be pretty similar to that little E-Sheen, I think it's EAT10 brushless truck. Though I could tell, the shocks and stuff aren't as good on that little brushless truck as this one. So that would be somewhat similar in terms of top speed to that truck, since they both appear to be PX Toys rebrands. So let me get this set up and we'll be right back for the off-road drive. Okay guys, so I have it bound up and ready to go. It's pretty decent speed. It's not going to be super fast, but I don't know if you could go 3S on this. You always have to be mindful that you could blow that ESC receiver out, the ESC portion going up to 3S, but it'd obviously be a lot quicker if you could do 3S. So let's take it here, run it around here in the driveway for a minute, and we'll take it out back and see how it does off-road, because that's what we really want to see. Though these little trucks, they're still going to have a little trouble off-road at times, just because they get topped out pretty easy because of the small wheelbase. Well, that's pretty quick. That's a little quicker than it seemed like I thought it would be. Not bad. Not bad. I think that's probably, I'm going to guess somewhere in the 20 mile per hour range. Not too bad. Be perfect for someone starting out. Again, we need to get the GPS reader, so I'm thinking I may do a follow-up video and throw that GPS reader on here and see what kind of top speed we get, because my GPS reader takes a little bit of time to get a good accurate reading. I didn't want to extend this video any longer with a bunch of bad laps, where I didn't get a good speed reading. One thing about these PX Toys controllers, they're very tense on the wheel here. Very, just, it's not like it's bad, but it just affects I'm not used to having to apply so much pressure to turn. If you're a younger kid or something, if you're getting this for a younger kid, it's going to require a little more finger strength. And I actually don't like that. I would rather be easy. Now, you don't want it to be super loose to where you can tap it and then knock it and steer it unintentionally. But it does require more than most any other controller I've seen. So not ideal, especially for somebody younger. For an adult, not such a big deal, but when you're used to that precision and your steering, it does require more than you'd expect. So, all right, guys, I think that's pretty good there on the just giving you an idea of the speed. Again, we don't know an exact speed on this run, so I'm just gonna take this into the backyard now, and we'll take it off road and see how it does. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, let's take it around in the back here next to the cemetery where I always do. But I got plenty of area here and I can drive it off road on the lane in my yard and get an idea how this guy does. And don't have to be interrupted with all the traffic and cars going in front of my house. Let's just throw it down here. That's got, I can tell immediately, that's got good power. That's what you expect with brushless. So this with the brushed version, you'd be struggling a lot more through that grass. Well, that's really going good. Really good. I'm pretty impressed. I don't remember, and it's been a while. It's been over a year since I did that review on the Eachine EA. Again, I think it's the EA10. It was brushless like this. I don't remember it being like this. I do think that was lithium ion powered, and it could have a small difference, but it wouldn't make a big difference. But yeah, this works really well. As you can probably notice, it's very bouncy, and again, that's because of those friction shocks. I'd have to pop those open and see if those actually could take oil. I highly doubt they will. They just are probably meant to look like oil filled. They're a little better than your standard friction shock, you know, a little better design, but without the dampening fluid in there, the oil, you know, that it's just, there's no medium in there to actually slow down the shock and make it absorb the impacts. You're relying 100% on those springs, and they can only do so much. So as I always recommend, a oil-filled shock upgrade would be highly recommended on this, and that's not going to cost a lot. You could probably get oil-filled shocks for this car for, you know, I don't know. I thought the ones I put on my HBX 16889, which is also 1/18 scale. You know, I think those, you can get those for probably 20 bucks for a set of 4, and they're metal. They're not plastic. So, oh, the good old loose rock dust like this, which when you have a brand new car like this, look at the tires, they're all white now. I hate the rock dust. It's just so hard to keep your car clean. I like my cars to be clean. That's where an air compressor really comes in handy, but that little brush will help too to brush some of this up. But what I wanted to do here is, this is where I like to do some jumps, and this will be a good spot to get some air and see how we do. We've not flipped this truck over yet. That's a nice sign that it's pretty stable. Many of these little trucks I flip over a lot. I'm sure I'm going to, but the fact it hasn't happened yet is a good sign. Let's see how we do. So let's see how it does. Oh, we ended up, like I said, you're gonna end up flipping this guy over, and it landed right on the body too. So we're gonna get some road rash on it. Again, that's going to be something that oil-filled shocks will help a little bit with on that landing, so that it doesn't bounce so much. Whoa! If I remember to put some slow motion in here, then you guys can see some pretty cool slow motion landings. I just don't use slow motion much, so every time I do, I gotta try to remember. I have to go watch a YouTube video on how to do it in DaVinci Resolve and the retime controls. Oh, that was a better jump. I let up the throttle right before I got up the ramp, and that kept me from flipping it as easily. Let's try it again. Full speed here. I let off the throttle, and look at that. So let the throttle right when you get to what would be the ramp. The truck slows down some. Let's try that again. Oh, I had a little bit too much. Oh, that was pretty cool. There's a lot of skill and that stuff involved with jumping ramps with RC trucks and cars. And I admittedly have not done a lot of that over the years. Never actually had an actual ramp. Let's just try it. I'm gonna let off. Oh, we still flipped it, but at least we're back on the front on the wheels. But if you hit it full speed and don't let off the throttle, as I'll do here in a moment, it really is gonna flip a lot. Here we go, full speed. Whoa, that wasn't too bad. Of course, this also is varying. The ramp is varying a bit, and it's how it is, since I can hit this anywhere along here. It's not identical. Oh, that wasn't too bad at all. Like I said, if you just let that off that throttle just a bit, it really makes a big difference. But even full throttle there, it did some pretty good jumps. Let's just try it again. I'm gonna try it full throttle again. I think it was almost riding a wheelie there. Oh, all right. That was full throttle. Let's take it back out here again and try it letting off the throttle right when we get to the ramp. Yeah, that worked better. Something was on. I hope that was just a leaf or something on the back of it. I think it was. Yeah. And this time of the year, these RC trucks are just leaf magnets. All these leaves and stuff, they all get stuck into the drive train and everything, and make weird rattle, zzz, buzzing sounds. You think something's wrong, and it's just a leaf in there buzzing. One thing I noticed is I really love these little plastic tabs on the body clips to pull off. It's so much easier. But I've noticed on the other ones, I've only a few cars that had these. They do tend to, seems like they almost get caught, or you lose the body clips easier. That's what I've noticed. There's just more area for them to get caught on something. And obviously, you know, they did give you some spares, which is nice for that reason. They're easier to see, so they're not easy to lose, but they do seem to be easier to pop off the car. And you could also break that plastic tab too. Overall, I gotta highly recommend this car just based on the speed, the power. His jumping was better than some of the other cars I've seen. Handles really well. The extra body is nice, and the extra battery is an extra perk. The body's really nice because an extra Lexan body can run you $10, $20. I mean, it depends on, you know, obviously the size of it and stuff and where you buy it, but that's an extra perk. The extra battery, you're probably looking at another $10. And then those extra little accessories, and the gears is nice in case you would strip a gear. And again, I'm not exactly sure what that red, almost like aluminum plate looking deal was in there. I'd have to look more closely to figure that out. Really good power. I guess the only real downfalls or downsides I can think of on this truck, I always like to be honest and give you guys an opinion. Don't want to say, oh, everything's great. You know, I like to give you the pros and cons. And obviously the size would be one, but I mean, for some people, just because it's bouncier and the lack of oil-filled shocks. So that's what I would say. There'd basically be three things. I would like to see an oil-filled, at least shocks with oil in them. If those are capable of having oil, they should have oil in them. They clearly don't. So the truck's not so bouncy. And that leads me in to the second one. Well, sort of. This is 2/10, but being it's a PX Toys rebrand, this is out of DRC's control. But I would like to have seen this wheel not be so tense. But the oil-filled shocks and the price, that leads me up to the price. This thing is around $140 with a 10% off coupon. Now, if I have a code, I'll have to check my email. If I have a code, I'll include that extra code, because DRC does often. DRC and Holy Stone, same company, they often do give me a coupon that's exclusive to my channel that I can use on top of the coupon you clip on the website. But right now I know there's a $10 off coupon. You check that little box before you add it to your cart, and it will apply that coupon. But I think what I was getting at is it's just still a little high. Yeah, you get it in 2 days, you got great customer service. DRC will take care of you if you have any problems. I've worked with them long enough to be confident to say that. But $140 for a little, I mean, a few years ago for brushless, no, that wouldn't have been bad. But, for what it is, I've seen the similar brushless trucks for half that price. So it really does depend on how much you're willing to pay for the extra, the peace of mind that you're working with a decent company and you have Amazon to back you up. If there's any problems, you have no problems getting it returned. But again, I think it's too expensive. So too expensive. Controller's a little tense on the wheel, but again, that's very, very minor. And I really like to see oil-filled shocks at this price. If this had full oil-filled shocks, then I'd be probably okay with the price. Not ideal, but it'd be much easier to swallow. So, all right, guys. I know it's pretty dark back here. We are, I'll step over here into the sun. Very late in the day. It's early December, almost mid-December now. And I'm outside with no coat, and it's going to be even warmer next week. So it's really, really crazy weather. All right, guys, that wraps up the full review and drive review for the DEERC 300E little 118 scale brushless four-wheel drive truck. If you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. And while you edit, you click that bell that notifies you every time that I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.